Florida and Colorado take center stage. The Stanley Cup Finals come alive on Fox. In Florida, the horizon has expanded as the Rat Cats sent Pittsburgh's dynamic duo south for a long, cruel summer to help them, remember how to score. Oh, great Scott! Melonby's ready to explode. Captain Scrutland's gang is far from over the hill. And that smothering D, name or no name, they're in your face like you've never seen. And the Beezer, he's bulletproof. And his Panthers are clawing to make history by winning the Coveted Cup in year 3. Colorado sent the Wings home feeling dazed and confused, wondering why another cup chance slipped away. See, superstar Joe Sakic and his snowmen are poised to pierce the Panther armor and make history in their own right. Hey, wasn't this the same team that you-know-who didn't want to play for? And Patrick Waugh said, draft fever? I'll catch it. So hold on tight, because this baby's gonna rock all night long. The one and only NHL on Fox.
There will be a capacity crowd of 16,000 plus inside here at McNichols Arena, but already the joint is jumping. It's game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals between the Florida Panthers, who've made it here in just their 3rd year of existence, against a talent-laden Colorado Avalanche team. And folks, it doesn't get any better than this. And hello, everyone. I'm James Brown, along with my partner, 11 years, a veteran of NHL wars, Dave Maloney. Dave, it's been 20 years since the city of Denver has hosted a professional championship. The fans are ready. Talk about the two teams here.
Well, I want to tell you, the Colorado Avalanche are a wonderfully talented hockey club led by Joe Sakic, Peter Forsberg, and Patrick Waugh. The collective presence of the Florida Panthers and John Van Beesbroek has done what people didn't think they were going to get here. They deserve to be here, the Panthers.
Colorado will be handicapped somewhat today because they will be without their big gun, last year's playoff MVP, Claude Lemieux. Because of this hit here on Chris Draper, suspended for 2 games. Do you agree with the suspension, and what effect will it have?
I absolutely agree with the suspension. There's an unwritten rule in hockey: you don't hit from behind. What it will do is take some aggression out of the games 1 and 2 that Claude Lemieux brings to the dance. Somebody's got to find that aggression.
And we'll find out exactly who's going to deliver today. All right, folks, for those of you who haven't followed hockey that much, you're in for a treat. Now, this series features 2 of the best goaltenders the game has to offer in Colorado's Patrick Waugh and Florida's John Van Beesbroek. Our own goalie, John Davison, who made it to the finals with the Rangers in 1979, is calling the game here today, and he has a look at why these guys are so good. Good evening, JD.
Thanks very much, JB. I can tell you, Dave Maloney was our captain in '79. We didn't win, but we're both very happy to be here. You talk about great goaltending, I think we'll see that. We've got 2 very experienced goaltenders, starting with John Van Beesbroek. Let's talk about his style. He's 32 years of age. He patterned himself after both Tony Esposito, a kneeling-type goaltender with Chicago, and Ken Dryden, who was a stand-up goaltender with Montreal, both Hall of Famers. Van Beesbroek has challenged people. He has stopped Yager. He has stopped Lemieux. He's recovered very well all playoffs long. With Patrick Waugh, he's 30 years of age. He spends a lot more time on his knees than Van Beesbroek does. He, too, recovers well, finds a way to make saves, goes side to side on his knees. Remember this, in overtime, Patrick Waugh has a record of 27-8. Van Beesbroek, in my mind, is the hottest goaltender in this year's playoffs. This should be a giant battle. JB?
All right, John Davison, thank you very much. And we have 2 excellent reporters who will be following the teams tonight. Joe Micheletti for Colorado. Sandra Neal will be covering the Panthers. Let's start first with Joe Micheletti. Joe?
Okay, JB, thank you. The Florida Panthers are in the finals because of great goaltending and excellent team defense. They've been able to shut down some of the league's top scorers, most recently Mario Lemieux and Jaromir Jagr of Pittsburgh. We had a chance to talk to the Colorado coach, Mark Crawford, and asked him how he would attack this Florida defense.
Well, they're a hard-working club. We want to make sure that we don't have costly turnovers. I think that they try to get you in around the middle of the ice, and they've got very good sticks and are very good on transition when you do make a turnover. So we're going to try not to turn the puck over. That's easier said than done. I think we're going to try and use our speed, and we've got to get some people to the net. So we're going to go to the net hard against the Beezer in the Twine there, and if we can do that, then I think our chances of winning are enhanced.
Okay, let's find out what's going on the Florida side. We'll send it over to Sandra Neal. Sandra?
Thanks, Joe. You know, Colorado finished the regular season as the 2nd best team in the NHL. That's because of players like Joe Sakic, Peter Forsberg, and, of course, Patrick Waugh. So I asked Panthers coach Doug MacLean what his game plan is to win the series.
Well, the Florida Panthers game plan doesn't change drastically any night. It's hard work against them. I think back-checking pursuit is a key thing against those people. Obviously, the key is not to give them room to operate. John Van Beesbroek has to play the way he's played in the previous 3 rounds, and we expect that he'll do that. Avalanche, there's not many areas to exploit there. They're pretty solid right through, but I don't know. Timely goals, keep our work ethic up, and we'll have a pretty good chance.
Doug stressed to me Colorado is their toughest matchup yet. He said in the other series, teams had weaknesses they could exploit. He hasn't found one here. JB, back to you.
All right, Sandra and Joe, thank you very much. Up next, the team introductions, and we'll drop the puck for Game 1 of the finals. Back with more in a moment.
You're watching Fox's coverage of the Stanley Cup Final.
The fans here at McNichols Arena ready for some action, and so are we. Time now for you to meet the players in tonight's game, and for that, let's send you downstairs to PA announcer Sean Moth for tonight's introductions.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet the Eastern Conference champion, Florida Panthers. Number 3, Paul Laws. Number 5, Gord Murphy. Number 10, Dave Lowry. Number 12, Jody Hall. Number 14, Stu Barnes. Number 18, Mike Huff. Number 20, Brian Skrudling. Number 23, Rhett Warrener. Number 26, Ray Shepard. Number 27, Scott Mellenby. Number 28, Martin Straka. Number 30, Mark Fitzpatrick. Number 44, Rob Niedermeyer. Number 55, Ed Jovanovski. And now tonight's starting lineup for the Florida Panthers. Number 2, Terry Karkner. Number 11, Bill Lindsay. Number 21, Tom Fitzgerald. Number 24, Robert Svela. Number 29, Johan Garpenlaw. And number 34, John Van Beesbroek. The head coach of the Florida Panthers is Doug McClain. The assistant coaches are Lindy Ruff and Dwayne Sutter. And now, your Western Conference champion, Colorado Avalanche! Number 5, Alexei Gusara. Number 7, Curtis Lecision. Number 8, Sandis Ozolich. Number 13, Valerie Kamensky. Number 14, Dave Hannon. Number 16, Warren Reichel. Number 18, Adam Detmars. Number 19, Joe Sakic. Number 20, Renee Corbet. Number 21, Peter Forsberg. Number 24, John Clem. Number 35, Stefan Fiset. Number 48, Scott York. Number 52, Adam Foote. And now tonight's starting lineup for your Colorado Avalanche. Number 2, Sylvain Lefebvre. Number 4, Rui Cruz. Number 9, Mike Ricci. Number 25, Mike Key. Number 26, Stefan Yell. Number 33, Patrick Roy. The head coach of the Colorado Avalanche is Mark Crawford. The assistant coaches are Jacques Cloutier and Joel Quinville. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to please rise and join Jim Sailstrom in the singing of our national anthem.
Everybody sing. Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes had bright stars through the perilous fight. For the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
The stage has been set. The players are ready. Right now, let's go upstairs to our players, the two gentlemen who will be calling tonight's game, Dr. Mike Emmerich and John Davidson.
JB, what an atmosphere here. This is a city that has never won a professional sports championship. John, they're 3/4 of the way there, and are they ever going nuts?
You know, they're going absolutely crazy here in Denver and Colorado, and the same thing in South Florida and in the Miami area. I think it's a wonderful thing. Two real good hockey clubs. It should be a good one.
Well, Florida, according to some reports, was a 500-1 favorite to get this far at the beginning of the year. What happened?
Well, they made a few changes during the season, which added to their team, and I think gave them the boost from their management to the players that we're making a run for it, boys. Look what they did in the first 3 rounds. They shut down Philadelphia's scoring. They stopped 2 of the greatest players in the world as far as their scoring went against Pittsburgh. And, of course, their goals against, led by Van Beesbroek, has been fabulous.
How have they done this?
Back-checking, Mike. They have a lot of team loyalty here. And if you think about the way they back-check, if you look here, that's Zubov, a defenseman for Pittsburgh, on the puck. 3 forwards with him. 3 dark jerseys Florida guys back. That's a 4-on-3, right? Well, look who comes from behind, the back checker. It's Brian Skrudland. Here he comes. He'll make the play on Zubov. So that's defense by Florida. Now they're going into offense. Back checking is what made this happen. The defenseman goes down. Here's a 2-on-1 goal. The Florida Panthers back check better than any team in the National Hockey League.
Many of us back in October and in January and in April thought that Detroit would be hosting this final round. Are you surprised Colorado's here?
Not one bit. I like Detroit, but I also like Colorado. This is a team that's very talented. Last year in the playoffs, they didn't do so well as Quebec against the Rangers, but they got it going with some good moves, and their best players have been great. Joe Sakic has 17 goals in this year's playoffs. The playoff record is 19. A wrist shot goal, a backhand goal, a slap shot goal. He can do it all different ways. He's a great skater and has the great shot. They also have a young centerman, maybe the best player ever to come out of Sweden. He's an initiator. This year he takes the body on a rugged defenseman for Detroit. Here in Game 6 and knocking Detroit out, he scores a gorgeous goal. They have a lot of leadership and a lot of talent at the center ice position. Colorado is a very strong hockey club.
32-year-old John Van Beesbrook says he's waited over a decade for his first final. As a Panther goalie in 5 games against Patrick Waugh, he has never lost. Waugh, the 2-time Cup winner and future Hall of Famer, tonight he sets the record for most playoff games for a goalie, 133. And we are underway from McNichols Arena in Denver. 16,061 watching. Huey Crew jams it ahead for the defense. It's played past Kartner and taken by Robert Svela. Slovakian sensation gives over to Garpenlov and then back to Svela. Svela and Terry Kartner wind up against star players for the other teams a lot in these playoffs. That defense pair is out there now for Doug McLean's Florida Panthers. It's chopped ahead by Fitzgerald, and the Avalanche in the midst of a change. Gusarov giving back over to defense partner Adam Foote. Then on for Deadmarsh and back to Gusarov. Gets away from one check and fires it around. Feel-out stage of the first period. 50 seconds have been played. It's wrapped around to Gusarov, who must play in neutral ice. Played back ahead, though, to Skrudland, and Skrudland fires, and that shot went wide. Turned back along for a play to be made by Forsberg, but then cut off by Rhett Warrener, the rookie, who put it back in. Patrick Waugh able to play it there, and he gave it up to Huff. Mike Huff, former Quebec Nordique, longtime part of this Colorado organization before it got here, was taken to the boards. Played back along again by Gord Murphy, and Foote is hammered by Huff.
Mike, this is the first shift for Forsberg. His normal right winger is Claude Lemieux. He's out with a 2-game suspension. Number 18, Deadmarsh, plays right wing in his place.
Foote wraps it on around. Puck curled over to Joe Sakic with his first shift. Sakic around behind, trickled one in front, but watching was Martin Straka. Nice little pass ahead to Scott Mellanby. Leading scorer on this team, gave it back to Straka. Then Mellanby a shot. Oh, and it hit Waugh, and then it's jammed wide by Ozolinsh, and the net dislodged. There was a franchise in the NHL here from 1976 to 82 called the Colorado Rockies, and who might this be? An ex-Rocky named Joe Micheletti, who is ringside. Joe?
Mike, that was a long time ago, and thankfully things changed. But here in Denver, there's one thing that has not changed, and that's the altitude. And visiting players have a difficult time. The air is very thin, so they have a tough time breathing, and they are constantly reminded that they are 1 mile above sea level. Now, for Florida, the coaches want their players to take short shifts in this game here in Denver. And the other thing, they're going to have some help. They've got oxygen tanks in their locker room and also on their bench. Let's go back upstairs to you guys.
Through the playoffs, the most telling period for the oxygen to be brought out, if teams had it here at all, was the second. Adrenaline and conditioning help in the first, but in the second, you're distant from the real crunch time of the third, and that's when teams that visit here tend to tail off. It's Sakic moving in, and his shot went wide.
We've seen one scoring chance so far, and that has gone to the Florida Panthers. A shot by Mellanby. Sakic, as you see there, is a great skater. He was telling us today that a few years ago, in trying out for Team Canada in a tournament called the Canada Cup, he was tested by a Dr. Howie Wanger, who's now the conditioning man for the Rangers. Now, Howie tested Joe and said, Joe, your legs aren't strong. You've got to be a lot stronger if you're going to succeed, especially since you're not a big player in the NHL. He went on a program and with explosive drills trying to build up his leg strength. And now we can see the results. He skates maybe better than 95% of all players in the National Hockey League, maybe even higher. And the other thing, Mike, when he goes to the bench after a shift, he may be the quickest player to recover to be ready for the next shift. Get the heart rate down and the legs ready to go. He's really worked hard at it.
We'll see how long it takes him to get back. Valery Kamensky turning with this. Kamensky could not get to the front. This is the line on which Claude Lemieux would normally play, but he's suspended for the first two. So Adam Deadmarsh is taking his place. Waugh spins it back around. The other forward on the line is Peter Forsberg. Ed Jovanovski, only 19, took the hit. Forsberg had it taken away by Ray Shepherd, the veteran goal scorer. Peeling back is Lowry.
This is one of the more offensive lines for Florida, centered by number 14, Barnes. Ozolinsh is a defenseman that's offensive-minded for Colorado. He will not see time against this line. The Colorado coaches don't want Ozolinsh against the best offense of Florida.
Off of Yell, it came to Laws, then to Shepherd. They try to chop it along, but pinching was Lecision. This time it works as far as neutral ice. And offside is called. Early stages, first period, no score. Just because you don't play doesn't mean you don't work. That's Chris Simon on the left, the suspended Claude Lemieux on the right. And Troy Murray at the back.
Right in behind, working hard to make sure they try to keep their conditioning level up. Suspensions happen. The Avalanche trying very hard to keep it all behind them. Interestingly enough, Mike, before the series started, the two GMs got together, Brian Murray of Florida and Pierre Lacroix of Colorado, said, listen, let's let the players decide this series. And I like that. Let the players get it going. Let's not have arguing publicly amongst management people.
Those things didn't happen too much in the Florida-Pittsburgh series, but they certainly did here between Colorado and Detroit. Icing is called. Puck sent from the defensive side of the red line to the opposite end in touch. In effect, stalls the game, and the face-off back near Van Beesbrook.
See Doug McLean, who along with Lindy Ruff and Dwayne Sutter coach this club. They said going into this game, they're not going to have set matchups, not going to have a set defensive pair against Joe Sakic or Forsberg. What they want to do in this first period is feel things out. If they sense that one pair is playing really well against Sakic, that pair of defensemen will get more ice time against Sakic. And the same thing with Peter Forsberg. So that's how they're going into this first period. Open mind and ad-libbing a little bit regarding their matchups.
Now, as far as the forwards go, will they just roll four lines against Sakic regardless of when he's out there?
I would think they'd like to have either Skrudland or Fitzgerald at the center ice position against Sakic or Forsberg.
This is Bill Lindsay. But Lecision. Lindsay again. Out of Big Fork, Montana. Number 11, Bill Lindsay, lost that battle, and it's cleared back down. And once again, we will have an icing.
So as the first period starts here, we're just over 4 minutes in. The Panthers, an excellent road team, trying to make sure that the Avalanche don't get the speed going. With head coach Mark Crawford, who you saw there, he changes the forwards. Joel Quenneville, an assistant coach, changes the defenseman. Again, Quenneville changing the defense. He does not want to put Ozolinsh, a very offensive, good defenseman, not a great defensive defenseman. He does not want him on the ice against the Stu Barnes line, number 14 for Florida. They're just maybe a little too offensive, and why take a chance? Make sure you play their percentages. And both teams so far, Mike, are getting all their players on the ice. Both trying to get 4 lines and 3 sets of defensemen.
Do you think it's going to help Florida rolling 4 lines all during this playoff when they get in here with the atmospheric conditions? Is that going to be something that they won't have a problem with because everybody seems rested?
Absolutely. They put Jody Hull in the lineup, who's fresh. He had been playing or been missing games with a bad back. But they're just a team that plays everybody, and they feel if the series goes long, they'll have more fresh people. And you can see right now Colorado wants to get everybody into the game.
Jody Hull new into the lineup from Game 7 against Pittsburgh, spun that one back around. And it's lifted back out. Hull up with that one. Scott Young on him, and it's fed over to Skrudland, the captain of the Panthers, jams it back in, and Waugh sets for Lefebvre. 15 minutes, 20 seconds to go. First period of a scoreless game. Only one shot on goal, and that by the Panthers. And it was a good one by Scott Mellanby. Sandis Ozolinsh. Early season acquisition from San Jose, lost it, but Skrudland wiped out. Ozolinsh crunched him. Meanwhile, Hull tries to burrow in, and then it's Martin Straka. Straka banged to the boards with authority by Ozolinsh, but he turns away. Martin Straka tried to center, but Lefebvre in the way of that, and Sakic connects nicely with Scott Young. Boston University product fires right on goal, and it's held by Van Beesbrook. So that was the first Avalanche shot, and it occurred just past the 5-minute mark in elapsed time. On now comes Rob Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer crossing, but is outmanned. Peter Forsberg trying to get further.
Both teams doing a good job at back checking. Trying to play a patient first period here, not opening up the ice whatsoever. Colorado, too, showing why they're such a good defensive team.
Back ahead with it comes Peter Forsberg, eyed up by Jovanovski. Forsberg with a pass, and it's over to Lecision for a shot blocked away by Van Beesbrook. Mellanby lost that one, and it is Kamensky, wrapped up by Jovanovski. Still has his hands free, and second one, that is held by Van Beesbrook.
You know, we look at the game starting, and you can see it's like a chess game. They're playing smart hockey. You try to play percentages. Let's look at Florida. Terry Kartner is this man. Usually he's the left defenseman. Svela, who's a right-handed shot, has moved over here before the puck's dropped, so he can get a better angle of shot if they win the draw. Watch how Florida wins the draw. Svela takes the wrist shot here as they finally get the puck. But you see how he has a better shooting angle. And shot never got through. But the point is they're playing the percentage, trying to play the percentage. Here's Kamensky in behind the net with the youngster Jovanovski working him over. And you can see Florida doing a great job. No open ice, and Van Beesbrook will do that a lot. Calm things down in his own zone by covering the puck for a face-off.
We've mentioned that Patrick Waugh is establishing a new NHL record for most games played in the playoffs by a goalie, 133. The guy who had the record is John Van Beesbrook's goalie coach, Billy Smith. It is Forsberg. Schools with Barnes. Forsberg and Barnes continue their battle. Hard work on the wall. Forsberg turning with it, but it's knocked away from him. Shepard trying to get further. Barnes swung it into Shepard, and he's finally able to scale it back down the ice. And once again, it will be icing.
Seeing a lot of one-on-one battles along boards. Battles trying to establish position for the puck, trying to buy some space. Forsberg here, watch him turn to his right and knock into Barnes. He's going in behind the net. Barnes is all over him, and then Forsberg stops, pushes him. He'll do it again. See there, gives him a shove to try and get Barnes away. It's tenacious. I mean, this is like a bunch of bulldogs, this Florida Hockey Club, when they check in their own zone. And what they'll try to do is test the patience of the Colorado Avalanche with close checking, try and drive them absolutely crazy. Forsberg's the guy. I asked him about eating the raw oatmeal 3 hours before a game to get ready for the game. He says, yeah. I says, just raw, dry? He says, oh, no, I put something in it. I can't tell you what it is. It's a secret. A special.
Secret
whatever
formula.
it is, it certainly works.
Here's Keane with a shot. Lifted it, went wide. Ricci up with it behind. Wanted to wrap around. Big one through the legs of Yell. And it's taken back by Bill Lindsay. Lindsay banged off, but the puck sent further by Garpenloff. However, we get a stoppage of play.
Good scoring chance for the Avalanche, winning the draw. Not a clean shot. The puck deflected wide. Adam Foote, one of the more rugged defensemen. You know, when you look at this lineup, it's a lineup built for the playoffs. Ricci's a player who can bang along the boards. Foote's a guy who had a wrist problem real early in the season, and he took the time while trying to get better, rehabbing, and built up his upper body. You watch him take the body. He hits high all the time. He uses that upper body strength, and they'll need that in this series. This will be a hard-fought, I think, low-scoring series where the patience will be tested, especially that of Colorado, because they're more talented offensively.
Shot went off of Van Beesbrook and wide from Lefebvre. Pitched right back along by Ricci. Foote tried to play it further, could not. It is Murphy wrapping it on around. Good shoulder by Ricci. Ricci and Garpenloff, but then it's fed. They couldn't center for Yell. Ricci still battling. Stefan Yell chased off. And they get it as far as center ice. Some tenacious work by the Avalanche. And now ahead Garpenloff trying to break through. Garpenloff at the backhander. Another shot, but saved by one. Another one knocked down by the defense. 3 shots and another. Shrugged away by Waugh. Great pressure by the Panthers after the Avalanche had some.
That's how quickly they can counter. It's a counter-punching hockey club. Patrick Waugh establishes himself in the series right there with 4 consecutive saves.
It is Lefebvre. And it's rolled back past Svela. 7.5 minutes have been played. No score in our contest. Glad you've joined us tonight for Stanley Cup Final Game 1 on Fox. Played along now by Detmarsh, but then sent in by Jody Hall. The defense pair is Ozolinsh working along with Lefebvre. We get a stoppage of play. And we'll return to McNichols Arena right after this.
We're scoreless primarily because of Patrick Waugh's goaltending. The net cam inside the camera got sprayed just there. And because of that, we may not see a clear shot. Look at this. The chips of the ice melted on the camera, and it's not quite as clear. Wonderful goaltending by Patrick Waugh early here.
We need to get him in the union so that he can handle a towel and clean it off for us and then continue play. And he picks up a second check that way.
Those union things were only East Coast things.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Spela shot. Oh, and it was deflected just wide. Getting a piece of it was Krugman. Heavy hit on John Clem. Meanwhile, the Avalanche back, and on with it is Hannon. Hannon matched by Terry Cartner. Hannon still fighting. Got it back to Lefebvre. Lefebvre with a shot that went breezing by Spela. Mike stepped into. Two aside, continue the battle on the wall. Sakic fed one, and right on goal with a shot was Clem, and Van Beesbrook stopped it.
No rebounds yet for the Avalanche to get to. That last flurry that Florida had, there was 3 rebound shots after the original on the partial breakaway.
Scott Mellenby in on Lefebvre. They stalemate. Sakic came by. Mellenby tried to peel free. It's Kamensky and then Ozolinsh, but Mellenby turned one to the front. Lefebvre able to knock it away. Mellenby chipping it along, and it's Lefebvre again. Past Mellenby. Worked by Kamensky, but not out. Good feed to Mellenby, and the shot went wide. Good pressure by the Panthers. Centering pass. Oh, and that ricocheted across the net now. Laws a shot. That one blocked down by Waugh, and he covers.
Yes, he does, and he looks sharp. And Mike, the forecheck of the Panthers has been sensational earlier. Waugh stopped 4 in a row. 3 of them by the entire forward line. Here's Warner with a good pass. Ozolinsh caught to the outside. Garpenlov got the backhand shot. Number 11, Lindsay, shot. Waugh was there. Here comes Krugman. That's all 3 forwards on that line getting shots. And you can see here, watch Waugh in his style. When he's down on his knees, his legs are out, and his catching glove is above his left leg. There he makes a save. Total concentration, good thing. Now this is just moments ago. Again, a shot towards the front of the net with some good action on the boards for the Panthers to regain the puck, get the shot, and then the Avalanche clearing the front of the net for Patrick Waugh. This Colorado team is really looking at a team, the Panthers, who aren't nervous. They come in here and have established a hard forecheck game in the first period. Shots are 5-3. 4 of the shots by the Panthers on that one flurry.
7th overall finisher in the year, Florida. Colorado was 2nd overall. Florida got here by taking care of Boston in 5, Philadelphia in 6, and Pittsburgh in 7. For Colorado, it was Vancouver, Chicago, and Detroit, all in 6 games.
Mike, here we see Doug McLean looking over at Bill McCreary, who was talking to the Colorado coaching staff, and what he's doing, he's telling them about, I would think, about line changes. The home team can wait. The visitors have to put their players on the ice. At that point, the referee will lift his arm up, telling Florida no more changes, and at that point, the Colorado team can put the players they want on the ice. That's the home ice advantage for line changes and matchups.
Niedermeyer on this draw with Ricci. From the tie-up, it comes to Yui Krug. Krug put it back off to Forsberg, chipped into Lawrenson, tries to keep the pressure on, got it over to Niedermeyer. Just getting back up is Mellenby, takes Ricci down, and the first penalty of the game will be called on Scott Mellenby. Colorado has had a good power play. It'll get its first crack in a moment.
We're seeing a lot of one-on-one battles here in this game. Ricci and Mellenby will battle here. Ricci will grab a hold of Mellenby's stick just for a moment. Mellenby goes down. Ricci says, I didn't do that. And I watch Mellenby with the wrap around the face throwing Ricci down to the ice. He's got a helmet that pops off. You'll see that happen dozens of times in the series. And Mellenby got caught with taking the reaction penalty. Power play, Colorado.
They are 6 for their last 20 in the last 4 games against Detroit. Young moving in on Cartner.
Penalty, Mike.
Contact there, and a penalty coming up. And this thing will be even.
And I believe, no.
Oh, it'll be a 5-on-3.
Yeah, Brian Skrudland very upset with Bill McCreary. The fans now realizing it's going to be a long, long, long 5-on-3. And here's one of the first key moments of this series. Wow. And I think it is Skrudland who took, yes, Skrudland took the penalty on the back check. We'll watch here the draw with Ricci. The 2 of them go at one another. And there's a shot to the back of the head of Ricci. And the stick goes right across the shoulder of Ricci. And Ricci draws for his team a 5-on-3. Man, he got Mellenby to the penalty box, and he got Skrudland to the penalty box. Now he can sit and watch his team go to work with a 5-on-3.
Claude Lemieux would be proud of that. That's one of the things that he does so well, is get other guys in the box.
Oh, and there's a shot. Oh, yeah, that's not very smart. I mean, Forsberg, I didn't see that originally. Brian Skrudland, who's an aggressive captain and at times takes bad penalties. On the penalty kill, sometimes you think you can get away with stuff. So you do a little more than what normally you would do. That time, in putting the shot to the face of Forsberg for no reason, Bill McCreary sent him to the box.
Colorado is 2 for 2 in the playoffs on 5-on-3s. But Florida 3 for 3 in killing them off. Ozolinsh finessed it over. Got it back. That's deflected to the glass by the defense. Now Kamensky looking for Sakic. Giving to Ozolinsh. Ozolinsh hands over to big Uwe Krupp. Then over for Sakic again. Watched by Skrudland. Gives to Ozolinsh. Big drive, and it went wide. 89 miles an hour. Krupp to Ozolinsh. Ready's another one, but dealt it in. Kamensky with a pass. Backhander went wide by Ozolinsh. Around behind it is sent.
Ozolinsh has missed the net 3 times on this 5-on-3. He's missed the net 3 times in a row.
Here's Sakic. Save made by Van Beesbrook on that lightning-like wrist shot. Ozolinsh holding, dealing it back over. It's Kamensky to Ozolinsh. Drive is deflected. Oh, and they tried to finesse one, but it couldn't be handled by Forsberg. Murphy wanting to take the pressure off. Can't do it. Good keep by Ozolinsh. Moving in. Shot deflected in front. Picked up, though, by Kamensky. Looks to Ozolinsh. Got it to him. Shot went wide. Rebound. Bounce back in front. That's 4 missed nets for Ozolinsh. On back to the slot. It's Krupp. Sent one wide, trying to connect with Kamensky. Centering pass. And Krupp will have to retrieve in center ice.
And one penalty killer changed. The 2 defensemen still on the ice for Florida.
Here is Sakic. Backhander went wide. Kept by Kamensky. 24 left on the first penalty. 33 on the second. Worked into Joe Sakic. Sakic for Kamensky, but it's Krupp with it. A shot blocked down by the defensive partner. Krupp still trying to play. Along now for Forsberg. Fed it on back for the take by Sakic. Sets up Krupp with a drive. Deflected wide. Short side attempt by Forsberg is foiled. 4 seconds left on the first penalty. Back to Ozolinsh. Fed one in front. Kamensky trying for Sakic, but it's back to Krupp. Here's Krupp with a shot. Save Van Beesbrook.
Do you believe this? 5 times the Avalanche missed the net.
Lynch catching a breather at the bench with a towel over his face. And it is up as of now. Skrudland is out of the box, and the Panthers have killed it off. So the shots are 6 for the Avalanche, 6 for the Panthers. The teams dueling even here through the first 11.5 minutes of the first period. Young stepping ahead with it. Scott Young laid it back in deep. Corbet was held off so that Garpenloff could play. Lifted it all the way back down, and this will be another icing call as Lefebvre is back for the touch. 12 shots, 2 strong goaltenders, so none have gotten in. Springtime in the Rockies, and a mile high, McNichols Arena. Springtime and hockey time.
Valery Kamensky now on the ice, number 13. He says it's very strange playing hockey in June. When he was in Russia with the Red Army team, they'd play 11 months a year, and June was the 1 month they had off.
The month of June was the only one?
June, yeah. A lot of hockey players' children were born in March. A lot of March birthdays.
What are you saying, John? This is not much. Okay. This is put back. And this turns out to be an icing touch-up. You know, I'm one of the guys that thinks that ought to be automatic. As soon as the puck crosses the end line, bring it back, blow the whistle, because we have too many collisions like that.
Yeah, and the chance of injury and a lot of scrums after because of close plays. However, we're seeing a number of icings here and a lot of key face-offs taken in the Florida zone.
Legally, we tell you, this telecast is presented by authority of the National Hockey League, intended for the private use of our audience. Any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this telecast, including the imposition of a charge for viewing it without the express written consent of the NHL, is prohibited.
And as we look here, they are. Gee, our production people have left the truck. Anyway, you see Stu Barnes' line on the ice again. Number 14 for Florida is a talented, gifted offensive player. Number 5 and number 52, Gusarov and Foote, the defensive pairing, shift after shift against them at even strength. So you can see the Avalanche paying attention to this unit.
Barnes breaks, Lowry slots, shot on goal, saved by Waugh. The shot came from Shepard, the carry comes back from Foote, and he dropped it in for Van Beesbrook to deal with. John Van Beesbrook just sweeps it away. Avalanche in the midst of a defensive change, and once again there will be an icing. Do you think because there have been so many of these that this is just part and parcel of the feel-out stage, or is it the Florida reason?
It's Florida's game plan, Mike. Anything that it looks like they don't have a chance to make a completed pass, or they don't want to take a chance, they feel free. They'll just ice it down. They're not here to put a show on. And as you can see, with 7.5 minutes to go in the first period, they're doing a pretty good job here of not being worried about putting on a show. Here's the referee. Doug McLean, the coach, again trying to talk to the referee about changes.
Just more of the badgering that goes on and trying to get the upper hand. The changes are so critical, and when you're on the road, as John mentioned earlier, you have to make your call first, and then the home team can respond to you.
Florida club looks now at Sakic. The coaching staff of Colorado juggling their lines some. Sakic on the ice with Ozolinsh. That's a dangerous combination offensively.
It's wedged back along, but taken by Niedermeyer. Rob Niedermeyer moving ahead. Smooth skating man. Passes back over now for Straka, but takes it himself. Straka back to the point. Warner there. Angles it back in. And it'll be LeFevre for Mike Ricci. Gord Murphy flips it right back in again, and LeFevre will take it. Ozolinsh able to put it through the Florida forecheck, and Young pops it back out. Are we simplifying too much by saying that the Panthers are just building a brick wall and the Avalanche are getting on their bulldozer and trying to plow through it?
It's a tough question to answer right now. Here you see the Avalanche forced to dump the puck. Then you have to recover it. Clem almost did. This Panther club, they're just so strong defensively before they think of offense. They think of counterpunching all the time, Mike.
An expansion team from 3 years ago, and 10 of the guys they picked in the expansion draft are still with them. It's Fitzgerald moving in. Wrist shot went wide. Lindsay, he took a stick up high, and there'll be a penalty coming on this.
It's a high sticking call to Huey Krupp. He was trying to lift the stick up of Lindsay. He missed the stick of Lindsay, and his stick went right into the face of Lindsay. Penalty. Scoreless first period. Lindsay reaching for the puck, and there's Krupp trying to lift the stick up of Lindsay, missing him, and right across the forehead. He caught Billy Lindsay again. He tries to lift the stick up, and across the forehead, below the helmet, knocking the helmet, was the stick of Huey Krupp, an accidental play and a 2-minute penalty for high sticking.
Florida 0 for 15 on their last 4 games against Pittsburgh. Their first crack on the power play of this contest that is scoreless. Latter stages of the first period. Puck dropped back off the glass. Nice keep by Gord Murphy. Lifted along by Barnes. Fed back toward Barnes. Yell duels with him, but then it's on back to Murphy. Stu Barnes once more. Looks to the front. He's got Huck there. Huck fed right back around, and it is forced back to the point to Murphy. Now Murphy flips one in front, deflected wide by Lowry. Centering pass. Lowry tries to get to it. Centering pass again, and it's picked up by Shepard. Backhander went wide. Yell went down, and it's fed back to the point again. With it is Spela. Fires! Snapped off by Royce. Rebound in front. It's cleared all the way back down by Yell.
Penalty killers change. Let's see if Florida dumps the puck. They do. The Colorado penalty kill want the Panthers to dump the puck, not carry it into the zone. Let's see if they can force that as we watch the rest of this Florida power play.
Van Beesbrook put it along.
So here's the breakout now. And let's see if Florida has to dump the puck in or can they carry it. There's a bad first pass. They can't do much with that.
Over halfway through this power play, 50 seconds still to go in it. Clock ticking down to 5 minutes left in the period. This time they can carry in. Straka fed one, and a shot by Niedermayer got the glass. Joe Sakic gave it up back at the point to Jovanovski. Nice keep, nice rag, and a shot that was deflected wide by Niedermayer. Rob Niedermayer turning in traffic. Got it back to Jovanovski again. Hands over to Mellanby. Fires, and that went off Niedermayer. Niedermayer for Mellanby again. Down to the last 20 seconds of the power play. Kucherov up with it. Checked off his stick by Straka. Straka comes up with it. Martin Straka for the Panthers. Hands on to Niedermayer. Back to the point. Spela with it there, and Niedermayer again. Jovanovski tapping his stick near side. He wants it. Niedermayer to Jovanovski. A wrist shot. Way wide. They pick it up again, and another shot is saved by Waugh, and play is stopped. The goalies just keep on keeping on, and no score. McNichols Arena. Outside temperatures reached the 60s today. Inside 16,061 as usual. Sold out crowd looking on. First period, both teams still probing, trying to get that first goal. 9 shots Panthers, 6 shots for the Avalanche. Skrudland on the draw, wins it on back. Shot by Warner went off the leg. Came back to Carter, and he wrapped it around. Full strength hockey. The pass comes across now to Mike Keane. Former Canadian got it over to Yell, but it was offside. And so again, play stopped. You know, John, we've talked about the team starting with 16 in this big tournament and getting down to 2. The officiating staff is pretty healthy at the start of the year. 58 guys are referees and linesmen. By the time you get to the finals, there are only 7. And for Bill McCreary, this is his 3rd consecutive final. He will wind up working 3 potential games in this final series, and this is all on merit. These guys are evaluated constantly all year.
The 3 referees remaining for the final. Bill McCreary working tonight, Don Kaharski for game 2, and Andy Van Hellemond, the veteran referee, for game 3. That has to be tough decisions to try and make those decisions, who's left, who's not. Man.
Bonus money hangs on that, and the high ratings for Van Hellemond. It'll be his 18th final in 19 years. Man. Here is Troop. Troop with a shot, and that went off Warner. Jody Hull up with it. Lobs one that's bluffed down by Kamensky, and onside play. Kamensky bumped off by Skrudland, but the puck kept alive by Yell, and then it's knocked away from him. And a chance now for Fitzgerald up the wing. Fitzgerald turning, looking for help, and the pass is controlled by Lindsay to Fitzgerald in front. He scores! Fitzgerald gets the first goal of the game. It's 1-0 the Panthers.
It's all in a line change, Mike. The Panthers had Fitzgerald jump off the bench, but he didn't have a stick in 2 hands. It was all tied up, yet he found the puck well enough to get a partial breakaway. You'll see it on the far side of the ice. Now, you'll see Lindsay, or pardon me, there's Fitzgerald on the puck. Now, here comes another man off the bench. And you see the Colorado Avalanche. Man, that's bad defensive play, and a great goal scored by the Florida Panthers. There's Fitzgerald controlling the puck, gives it to Billy Lindsay, who avoids the check. Stop it there for a second. Man, you could have seen 4 white jerseys go around 1. And Fitzgerald just chopped the puck up top, over top of Patrick Waugh with a little wrist shot as the puck was rolling. Lindsay got the puck, avoided a hit, had 4 white jerseys around him. Nobody took Fitzgerald, and it's 1-0 Florida.
Fitzgerald had 2 goals in the first game against Pittsburgh and 1 in the final. He had 2 winners, and now he scored the first one in this game. Down to the ice went Lindsay. Waugh turned it back around and caught Lindsay with the stick. It is Terry Cartner in neutral ice. On across to Spela. This is Barnes. Bouncer. Near Waugh, just allows it to go, and it'll be taken by Kamensky. Kamensky still working, shovels it back out. Spela just steamed it back in. This will be an icing call. You know, Fitzgerald changed his stick blade, using one very much like teammate Stu Barnes does. He changed his stick blade before the Pittsburgh series.
He wanted a wider blade, and that may have helped on that goal. As the puck was rolling, a wider blade, as long as it's legal, you can chop the puck upstairs. You know, it was interesting to watch Colorado with the defensive coverage on the play. Here's Patrick Waugh, the wide blade, his hands down, and the puck rolled up over top. You know, when you think about Barnes, the Florida Panthers, their sticks have to be legal. The blades are only allowed to be a certain width, the curve a certain amount of a curve to it. If one of them gets caught during a game with an illegal blade, illegal stick, the trainer gets fired. He'll get fired on the spot. The point is that the trainer has to check every player's stick, and it's incentive to the players themselves not to allow it to happen.
Let's hear it from Mark Brennan.
They're just going to say that.
He's made it through the year.
Yes, he has. Congratulations. The Panthers had Jaromir Jagr in Game 7. They were set to call him for an illegal blade when the Panthers were on a power play. If Jagr's stick would have been illegal, it would have been a 5-on-3 for Florida. If not, it would have been a 4-on-4, and that's not bad. And both times they were about to call Jagr got to the bench, and you can't call him against the player on the bench, only during a stoppage when he's on the ice.
Here's Lowry around behind. Lowry watched by Gusarov, dropped it back over for Barnes, and he's sealed up by Sakic. Barnes able to fight free, though, twisting away from Sakic. Stu Barnes out front on a backhander, then another shot by Shepard. Was a pad stop by Patrick Waugh. The pressure continues from Florida. 11 shots to 6, and they lead the game 1-0. Backhander and another save by Waugh, and it was on Shepard, and a penalty coming up.
Well, it had to happen. This was perfect cycling by the Barnes, Shepard, Lowry line, and the hard work leads to a Florida power play.
Alexei Gusarov is boxed for holding with 1:45 to go in the first period. Gord Murphy with a good keep. Flips it over the shoulder of Mellenby behind. Lefebvre cranked it the other way. Mike Keane able to get body position enough for the puck to go back out.
You may say it a lot. Gord Murphy keeping the puck in at the other team's blue line. Boy, he's good at it. That's one of the strengths of his game.
And it appeared in his rookie year with Philadelphia. He was the best guy they had in the rookie year keeping the puck in. Puck to the back now. Spela shoots one. That kicked back by Yell, and Yell able to get it as far as center ice off Murphy.
Yeah, that time Murphy couldn't keep it in, but he took the body on Yell, keeping Yell from breaking up ice.
Huey Krupp put it out of play at the Avalanche bench, and so play is stopped. Coming up during the first intermission, James Brown and Dave Maloney will bring you highlights and analysis from tonight's game. Also, Dave talks to Avalanche goalie Patrick Waugh, who had ups and downs in Montreal, but now he's in the Stanley Cup Finals. Don't miss all that and more during the first intermission.
The very superstitious Patrick Waugh eats the same meal on the day of a game, and right now it's steak, potatoes, broccoli, and I think he said carrots. Still talks to his goalposts before the game and during the game. I don't know what language, if it's French or English, but he's been doing that since 1986. First time he steps on the ice, he will not step on the blue line. He'll step over it when he skates around, much like a ball player coming out of the dugout, not stopping on the chalk lines on the third or first base side. I said, yeah, you still do all this stuff? He says, yeah, I'm crazy. He says, I'm nuts with it. That's nuts.
Did you have anything like that during your 10-year career?
No, that's why the career wasn't that good, Mike.
Those superstitions work. Puck put into the seats and play. Well, what did you eat game day? What did you eat game day?
Yeah, a lot. My stall was right next to Phil Esposito, one of the great players ever to play in the game. This was in Madison Square Garden, and it was like he was a gypsy caravan. He had stuff hanging down. People would send him things. It's amazing. And players that play a lot get superstitious, and they stick with it. John Elway was the Bronco quarterback. Freddie Couples is supposed to be here tonight, too, a good friend of Patrick Waugh's. Greg Stadler's supposed to be here. Freddie Couples was to play in the Westchester in New York this week, but his back acted up, and his caddy Zolikov has stayed in New York, and Freddie's supposed to be here staying with Patrick Waugh.
You know that back thing, he's just sandbagging until he can get you on the course and then really take you. Here's Jovanovski with a little trickling pass that goes ahead. Brought on now by Stu Barnes. Barnes going wide. Angled one over to Lowry. Back for Barnes. Svela charged along and kept it alive. Barnes working into Lowry again. Back to Svela. Lowry once more inside the box to Shepard, over to Barnes, trying to connect with Shepard. Lowry couldn't get a good shot away, and it's thrown back off by Keane.
It's Florida getting a little bit fancy with their power play. Usually it's just a power play that's not fancy and puts the puck on goal. Now they're trying to be very artistic.
Straka hustled and got there first. Martin Straka turning now along the boards. And the horns
sounds to end the first period, and the Panthers have got to love this.
Well, they love the lead. They're good with the lead. For the Avalanche, the 5-on-3 for nearly 2 minutes was the key to their period. They did not score. They missed the net 5 different times. 4 by Lynch, and the penalty killers did a wonderful job for Florida. They played a great road first period.
Fitzgerald, the only goal from Lindsay at 16:51. James Brown and Dave Maloney right after this.
The NHL on Fox, the Stanley Cup Final.
Impressive, aggressive play by the Panthers.
Well, that sure is the case, JB. You never got the sense that the Panthers didn't feel that they belonged. Patrick Waugh here, record-starting NHL playoff goaltender. This is a pass through the neutral zone, Warner, but watch Waugh cover the lower part of the net. That is Lindsay going to make a save, and Patrick Waugh got the job done for the Avalanche here. Now, again, spinorama here. Puck gets turned over. One pass beats 4 Avalanche. Patrick Waugh gets caught guessing. Tommy Fitzgerald scores his 4th of the playoffs. Problem was, Waugh guessed right. Fitzgerald went top shelf right side. But you know why? 12 shots. He did his job. Only let in 1 goal. He needs some help.
As we looked at that first period of play, a number of impressions, Dave Maloney, but I guess, again, with Florida holding that 1-0 lead, razor sharp is what I think of about the Panthers.
Well, really, at this point in the hockey season, when you're down to 2 teams, the 2 teams that are here belong to be here. So the margin for error is not great. So we're going to see specific plays result in offensive opportunities, but you must give the Florida Panthers credit. They did not come into this building with a sense of being afraid.
All right, well, Patrick Waugh, we know he's been here before. He's got 2 rings to show for that. He'll have to show some of that experience. Dave Maloney will profile him after this.